Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. You're probably thinking, what is going on here? Why are you just in a t-shirt? Well, I thought I was going to get really messy, so I thought maybe a button up isn't that good. And I realized actually I'm not going to get messy at all. And now I can't be bothered to get dressed. Anyway, I have pre-prepped my eyes. Today I am showing you some more techniques that I really hate when it comes to doing makeup. I have my reasons behind them. Some of you may love these techniques and that's fine. This is just personal preference. I just want to explain why I don't like them. And I've prepped my eyes for our first one. But just before we get into that today, if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube and also in real life. And it's my goal to help you become a pro yourself or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please consider subscribing. So let's dive into it. Techniques I really don't like when it comes to makeup. Our first technique is going to involve this, and I've done quite a messy shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve out the shape, not just how, you usually carve it out with a bit of eye primer or whatever. I'm going to completely remove this shape with micellar water and create my desired shape. Now here's why I don't like this, and I wonder, here, let me zoom in, and I wonder if it's going to show up. But the reason I don't like this is because yes, the micellar water may remove the makeup, but you'll notice that it almost starts to bleed into the rest of the makeup. And I'll show you what I mean. Can you see here? Can you see this dark line forming? That's the micellar water now becoming part of that makeup. And what does micellar water do? Removes makeup. That's exactly what we're doing now of it. So instead of a nice solid edge, we're going to get this kind of uneven, you can see it starting to dissolve away, especially up here. We're going to get like this dissolved, like crooked line almost. So then you see people go in again with their base and almost start again. This is also why I personally don't recommend making these bits with micellar water or makeup remover. I prefer just to go over with concealer. You see me do it all the time. If you ever see me do like a winged out eye look, you'll see that I always just use concealer to wing it out. Can you see we get these really frayed edges? This is still eating away at the makeup here. You can almost see, it almost makes it like textured as well. So can you see this like darkness here that's gathering? It just kind of makes that blend out. You've done a little bit dodgy. Now, if you were to do this, oh, by the way, please never use Vaseline. Please don't use Vaseline. Vaseline should never be a base for anything. And I know you wipe it away, but it's still there on the skin. Please never use Vaseline. Okay. What was I going to say? So you don't get that nice blend. And if I wanted to go in now, can you see how that line is becoming darker and darker? When you wet a powder, it gets darker. So you have to be really, really careful. You can do it with a brush as well, a makeup brush that has more of a defined edge, which is a great idea. However, again, getting the eye makeup wet, it's just not, it just doesn't look right. And you don't know how it's going to bleed out into the eye also. So I'm going to go in, this is Fractal Eye Paint from About Face in Smolder. And I'm going to use that now to create that cut crease shape. Oh, I do just want to mention as well, the products that I'm using are all products I like. They're not anything to do with like me not liking them. You know what I mean? Okay, give me a moment. So actually what I would have done is just gone over with an eye primer that's solid enough to cover that color. I've done it before with even the darkest of colors and it works absolutely fine. Okay, so now moving on to cheeks. And this is something that has been around, of course, for many, many years. Underpainting, it's called underpainting. Which I used to just call it putting your blush on first. So if you don't know what underpainting is, it's basically where you put your blush on before your foundation, basically. But people have started to do it with liquid lipsticks and things like that. And going crazy with it, like way, way too much color. I know it's under your foundation, but you don't have to be ridiculous. Okay, let's... So I'm using more of this moussey product. This is from Rare Beauty, and these products are absolutely beautiful. They have a matte lip cream, and people do shit like this. They go all up here, and then they're like, oh my god, I'm so crazy. And then they'll put their foundation on, and it'll be perfect. Oh, I hope this doesn't stain. Okay, here we go. And people are just doing like a little bit too much. I mean, you would think this is an exaggeration, but you see some things online and it's like, you need to calm down, please. Now, you could achieve this with just doing the smallest amount. It doesn't have to be crazy. And you also don't have to blend it across your whole face. Just do it where you usually do your blush. You don't have to cover your whole cheeks like this. And a lot of the point as well is to kind of like do your foundation in a way where it's going to show through a little bit more obvious. So less coverage where you want the blush to show through and a little bit more coverage where you don't want it to show through. But here's the issue with this, right? When you do it like this, like crazy, you have to use a full coverage amount to cover the rest of your face. You know what I mean? So then you're just gonna full coverage over all that shit you just done on your face. And then sometimes people leave a gap here, but that means you're just leaving a gap of skin. What if you have really textured or really red skin like me and you just want that area covered with foundation? This is why sometimes I think it's so much nicer. Just do your blush on top like you would normally. Oh. Oh, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but in real life, my skin is here. Maybe I'll take a picture of my iPhone so you can see. The color of my cheeks isn't my skin tone. It's like an orangey. I was saying orangey beige. And you know, people do it on TikTok, but you know, TikTok has that smoothing filter that everybody uses and it just, you know, makes everything look good because it's literally not skin. You know what I mean? Can you see it on camera? Can you see this color? I hope you can. And that's the thing, red is such an altering color. Like it can literally, like we mix redness into foundations if it's too yellow. So you're literally creating like this whole, yeah. So there are two lip things I want. By the way, I'm going to do my eyes later because I want to keep this look. I want it to look nice. I want to take a picture. There are two things with lips that I really don't like. Okay, one is an ombre lip. I love an ombre lip. I love a bleeding lip. I'm going to use this lipstick that people were talking about for like a week on TikTok. So I haven't gone like perfect with it because this is a technique I've seen people do where they do their lipstick and then they'll go slightly outside their lip line. Then they will grab their concealer and usually they'll use the tip of their concealer, but I don't want to put an orange tip back into my concealer. And they'll dot around a lip like this. And then blend it in. Here's my concern with this though. Blending it in. The lipstick is becoming part of a foundation. Now the foundation, so you can see now, instead of this nice ombre effect, we have this kind of like spaghetti mouth where the foundation and where the concealer and the lipstick have all mixed together. Let me just show you how I would do this. Because it's what I do on myself. Because it's what I do on myself anyway with any lip color. I'll take my foundation brush and I'll make sure I'm muting out all of the lips, even the corners here. And then I just go in with a lipstick. It's just really easy. But I make sure I'm going in at this angle, thicker in the middle, and then tapping it closer to the inside as I go in. And then you can just tap so it gently joins into your concealer. And you get more of a tidier ombre rather than that whole thing. Here's what I'm going to do though. I want to show you another thing I really don't like with lips, and that's when people completely overline their lips. Overlining your lips is absolutely fine. However, the way you do it should be a little bit more controlled than just drawing over the whole lip. So I'm going to take quite an obvious pencil. This isn't necessarily a lip pencil, but I really want you to see what I mean. And people start just by drawing on top of their lips like this. And then they'll kind of like tuck it in last minute here. And then go around again like this, like nowhere near their lip shape. And then they make this round too. If you're overdrawing your lips, you need to start tucking in this corner into your lips and here. Otherwise, oh, you can't really see, but it looks like, can you see that corner? Like, what's it doing? Where's it going? Where's it coming from? And then you don't get a lip outline. This is like a drag queen lip. It's fine for drag queens, but you get like this hoop around your lip. See, for me, overdrawing your lip is accentuating certain parts off your lip. Like the pout in the middle, for example, is a good place to accentuate, and tuck in here. These outer corners are a good place to accentuate. This just looks like... So one more thing I wanted to touch on, right? And this kind of came into trend a little bit because people wanted fuller lashes, spikier lashes, and they were using their mascara wands where they would take their mascara wand and then rub it along their lashes like this. Let me zoom in. So they would take like the clump of mascara on the end of their lash and then just basically do this on their lashes. Now, my only issue with this, I don't know if you can see that clump. I'm going to go up like this. That clump there. But here's the deal, right? Get a better mascara. Get a better mascara wand. If you want clumpier lashes, If your lashes aren't thick enough for you or they're not, making the right density that you want, then you're using the wrong mascara. It's not the texture that matters, it's the brush. If you want lashes that look a bit spikier, look how horrible that is, and you already have quite dense lashes, get a comb that's more separated out. It's gonna almost like clump through a little bit, but separate at the same time. If you have smaller, more sporadic lashes, get a brush that's a little bit dense, get a mascara wand that's dense, so it's gonna group together a little bit more and comb through. If you're going on the side like this and rubbing, it's a little bit too clumpy and it doesn't quite have the same effect that like a really good mascara will. Can you see my skin now? Can you see the redness in the skin? Yeah. If your mascara isn't performing the way you want it to, listen, find a brush, find a wand on a mascara that you really, really like. It doesn't even have to be expensive. Once you find that wand, you can use it in like any cheap mascara and the wand is going to do wonders. Keep the lid to your mascara that you bought, take it off, dip your good wand in, use it, and then wash it, rinse it under a warm sink, sanitize it occasionally, and that's your mascara wand forever, for life. Anyway, let me leave you with this close-up. Those are a few techniques that I didn't really like so much. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to see more makeup like this, then do consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.